Netflix set to report results after the bell, and as always, the street is laser focused on subscriber growth. Most of all, analysts expecting 1.1 million net adds for the third quarter, 4.1 million for the fourth. But a tough year for the stock. But will the recent announcement of ad-supported tiers help meet Netflix's expectations? Joining us now, Michael Pachter, he is from Wedbush Securities, and Mark Douglas on set, founder and CEO of ad tech firm Mountain. Michael, start with you. What are your expectations? What would make you happy tonight?
Oh, I think anything over 1 million is good enough. And I think any loss of U.S. and Canadian subs that's fewer than 500,000 is good enough. More people are going to focus on the guide. And, I don't think they'll guide to 4. I think they'll guide to 3 because they don't actually know what the ad-supported tier is going to generate in terms of lower churn. But, if they guide to 3, good enough, stock doesn't move. If they need to clarify that the ad-supported tier will generate as much revenue as the subscription tier does. So essentially that means that ads are going to generate something like $9, $8 or $9 a month per subscriber that switches. So I'm interested to hear what Mark thinks about that.
Well, let's get to it, Mark. What do you think about it? Can they? I mean, will this work?
Well, I think the thing to think about Netflix is their problems are on another scale. Like, their problems are opportunities for the business. I mean, they're the problems every other streaming service would love to have. They have 100 million people using the service. They're not yet paying for it. Huge opportunity. They have all these people watching, over 250 million people watching, that now they can bring ads into. So I think it's almost not about subscriber growth. It's seeing them monetize these things that were treated as problems earlier this year. Yeah. Now everyone's realizing a big opportunity.
If you, Mark, I'm gonna go back to you, and then I'll go back to Mike. If you were Reed Hastings, you're running Netflix.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a paying subscriber with no ads, or an ad-supported free subscriber? Who's going to be more profitable for you ultimately?
Well, they both generate somewhat similar revenue. When you look at the new price tier, they're essentially going to be making the same amount of money as the full price tier, meaning the new price tier, the ad-supported tier, except now half the revenue is coming from advertisers and half is coming from the subscriber themselves. Traditionally, Netflix likes that subscription tier, but the growth is clearly going to come from ads.
Michael, any indication that Amazon Prime, football, that new Lord of the Rings thing, which I thought was terrible, by the way. What am I missing on that? HBO with House of Dragons, that they're taking Netflix customers away? Or do you think there's enough bandwidth? Everybody has everything.
Oh, I think that what they're actually doing is accelerating churn. And I think that there's a ton of recidivism. So I don't think that people sign up for Netflix and then quit and never come back. I think they quit every 6 to 9 months, and then they come back 6 to 9 months later.
That's a terrible business model, though. I mean,
yeah, it is, but it's been the model ever since they started. They stopped telling us about churn maybe in 2014, but it was averaging 3 to 4% a month. So literally, they lost 30 to 50% of their subscribers every single year, and they're obviously winning it back. The lower priced ad-supported tier is going to be what your cable company offers you when you call and quit. They offer you $30 a month for 6 months if you don't quit. Netflix now can offer you an ad-supported tier if you don't quit. We did a survey, 25% of all subscribers say they are highly likely to switch to ad-supported, and over 50% of the people who think they're going to quit said they would switch and not quit.
Okay.
So what you're going to see is a reduction in churn, which means higher net ads.
You agree with that, Mark?
I think there will be a big reduction in churn, but I think just the monetization, they have these 2 huge monetization efforts. They introduced this new feature, Profile, where you can now switch your profiles in order to set up to monetize those 100 million people. If I walked in here and told you I was starting a new streaming service, and they had 100 million people using it right now, and I just had to start monetizing it with ads, it would be one of the hottest investment opportunities out there, and that's what Netflix has on the table today.